South Africa is banning its own neighborhood and blaming the men, the people who sell the matches. Zimbabwe. Let us talk about South Africa, not the South Africa of the Constitution, not the South Africa of Mandela's dream, not the rainbow nation that the tourism adverts keep selling. Let us talk about the South Africa of April and May 2026, where vigilante groups are marching through townships, raiding foreign owned shops, blocking migrants from hospitals, and apparently deciding that the solution to South Africa's problems is to terrorize the people who had the least to do with creating them. A vigilante leader was reportedly arrested in Cape Town this week, handcuffed, led away, filmed on social media. Good. But arresting one man does not address the fire, it just temporarily removes one match. What is actually happening? The documented facts. Let us be precise because this crisis deserves facts, not just outrage. In April and May 2026, a citizen led movement called March and March, which advocates more stringent immigration enforcement in South Africa, organized demonstrations against undocumented migrants in major cities including Pretoria, Johannesburg, and Durban, with violent and sometimes fatal results. A 43-year-old Cameroonian shop owner in Durban, who has lived in South Africa for nearly 20 years, was attacked on April 17th by people he believed were affiliated with March and March. He closed his shop, locked the doors, and turned off the lights, but a group of approximately 10 men broke down his door. 20 years in South Africa, 2 decades of paying rent, employing staff, serving customers, and 10 men broke down his door anyway. A credible source described an episode in which police beat, tortured, and then placed a Malawi national in the trunk of a car after he did not produce proper documentation. The man died from his injuries. Not vigilantes this time. Police. A man died in the trunk of a police vehicle because he did not have a document. In a country whose constitution explicitly guarantees the right to life and dignity, regardless of citizenship status, and this, a 1-year-old Malawian boy, died after Operation Dudula blocked him from accessing treatment at 2 local government clinics in Alexandra because the family did not have a South African identity card. A 1-year-old boy, 1-year-old child, blocked from a clinic, died. The African Commission on Human Rights and People's Rights expressed grave concern over xenophobic violence and acts of intimidation against nationals of other African countries in South Africa. The continental body, formally on record, condemning what is happening inside the continent's most powerful economy. The election season magic trick. Now, let us talk about why this keeps happening. Because this is not new. This is not spontaneous. This is a pattern so predictable you could set a calendar by it. As South Africa's November 2026 local government elections approach, anti-immigration vigilantism is intensifying, with the smaller political forces deliberately hyping anti-migrant sentiment to gain rapid electoral relevance, while mainstream politicians lack the willpower to enforce the law for fear of losing votes. This is the magic trick. While ordinary South Africans are furious about unemployment, load shedding, collapsing public services, and corruption scandals that stretch from Palapala to every tender in every municipality, a political entrepreneur points at the Somali shop on the corner and says, "There is your problem." Not the politician who stole the infrastructure budget, not the official who captured the procurement process, not the network of connected individuals bleeding the public purse dry, the man selling airtime and bread in the township. That man, he is why you are poor. And the tragedy, the genuine heartbreaking tragedy, is that it works electorally, temporarily, long enough to get through a voting season. The economics that nobody wants to discuss. Here is the part that the vigilante leaders do not want their followers to think about too carefully. When a foreign owned dispenser shop is forced to close through intimidation, what actually happens? The South African workers employed behind that counter lose their jobs immediately. The elderly woman who walked 50 meters from her door to buy paraffin and milk now has to pay tax fare to reach a distant mall. The tax industry, The black-owned economic backbone of South Africa's informal economy loses passengers as foreign nationals stay indoors for safety and businesses shut down. The tax industry is feeling the immediate pinch, with foreign nationals staying indoors for safety and businesses shut down. Empty minibus taxis sit idle at ranks for hours without passengers. The vigilantes raided the shop and they accidentally and then accidentally put the taxi driver out of business too. And the domestic worker who used to shop there, and the person who delivered stock to that shop, and the landlord who collected the rent from it, an entire microeconomy dismantled in the name of protecting South African jobs. What Africa is watching. The African ambassadors planned a historic joint boycott of South Africa's official Africa Day celebrations in the Northwest Province. Let that image sit with you. African diplomats refusing to attend the celebration of African unity because their citizens are being beaten in South African townships while police watch or, in some documented cases, participate. South Africa built its entire post-apartheid identity on the idea that it was the continent's beacon, the proof that African democracy could work, the nation that defeated institutionalized racism and emerged as a constitutional democracy that the world could look to. And in 2026, a 1-year-old Malawian boy died because he could not get into a clinic, and African ambassadors boycotted Africa Day. The beacon is flickering. South Africa and the continent is noticing. The bottom line, you cannot build a future on fear. Zimbabwe. Former President Thabo Mbeki has said it. Human Rights Watch has documented it. The African Commission has formally condemned it. The economics prove it. The dead child in Alexandra confirms it. Scapegoating migrants does not fix South Africa. It does not create jobs. It does not repair infrastructure. It does not prosecute the officials who stole the infrastructure budget. It does not retain the Palapala cash. It does not fix load shedding or fill potholes or staff hospitals. It makes poor people angry at other poor people, while the people who actually broke the country sit in boardrooms, collect tenders, and watch the townships burn from a comfortable distance. A vigilante leader was arrested in Cape Town. Good. Now, arrest the politicians who manufactured the anger that made him possible. Arrest the officials who created the conditions that made ordinary people desperate enough to believe that burning a foreign man's shop would solve anything. Until that happens, the cycle continues. The matches keep getting lit, and South Africa keeps burning its own neighborhood. Pano Mzinda Ubani. And we will keep saying it. Subscribe, stay tuned. Tell us, is South Africa's xenophobia a genuine security concern or manufactured political distraction? Drop your sharpest take in the comments, like, share, and support independent journalism through join and super thanks and stars on Facebook, etc. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned.